Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We've got game number 2 here in our wonderful show match between AltSonic and EGiNcontroL. Windy joining me here once again. Windy, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. We do have EGiNcontroL up 1-0 over Sonic after that ridiculous first game on Daybreak. Back and forth constantly. But EGiNcontroL edging out with some dual-prong attack with a little bit of harass behind it. That's really what came back to save him. But now Sonic does have his map pick. GSL Entombed Valley, we were saying earlier that it is a good map for Terran because of the drop plays. And, you know, just a good macro map in general. Very easy to take a third base since it's so condensed into that one large area. Of course, those rocks on there do make it a little bit difficult to defend your third if you don't have if you opt to take a quick third, I should say.
Right.
And don't have a standing army to knock down those rocks right away. But looks like Sonic can go ahead and put a spot depot at his ramp. Would you expect a 1-1-1 build out of him? I mean, you've known Sonic a little bit longer than I have, even following him. Does he have a good 1-1-1 build against Protoss?
You know, he does. I don't know if he's going to use that. I feel like EGiNcontroL is probably at the level where a 1-on-1 is going to kind of run up against a brick wall here, and I feel that Sonic probably may feel the same way. Now, it is in the realm of possibility for sure, but it's kind of an all-in-ish build, and I just don't feel like Sonic's going to want to take that risk, especially considering he's down one game right now. So we'll see. He does have his barracks going down in kind of an interesting location there. Not going to be blocking that ramp for a moment. And do you think we're going to go in for any kind of wonky builds here out of Sonic?
You know what? Considering it's a relatively early gas, I'm going to have to go ahead or rather a normally timed gas. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably going to be a 2 barracks player, maybe even a Reaper expand.
Right.
The 2 barracks aggression that I think Select probably made so famous early on in the Wings of Liberty post-release was just that it was really solid. And you could always expand out of it. You can choose to expand a little bit later. You can choose to expand a little bit earlier. And there goes on the Tech Lab. So it won't be a 2 barracks play. Most likely a Reaper.
Yeah, most likely Reaper.
Reapers are, you know, kind of falling out of favor, but at the same time, a few Terran players have made them work really, really well. Yeah. They're great for scouting, and if a Protoss player decides to be exceptionally greedy, a la takes a Forge expand that's been going around a lot, or just even a straight-up Nexus first, you know, Reapers are really hard to punish without Stalkers.
That's true.
On a map like this, so easy to hop up into the natural and then into the main and then back around. There's plenty of places to dance around with that Reaper. So I think, I mean, Sonic can have a lot of versatility here in the scouting and do a lot of damage at the same time. But EGiNcontroL, of course, going for that Zealot and then that Stalker, that's also a little bit of an old school style to do that Zealot Stalker pressure that you saw so often early on.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are starting to get back into that too because they're seeing that some early pressures coming out of their Terran opponents, they've got to be careful. Sometimes they just need that Zealot, as well as it allows them to put on their initial Zealot Stalker pressure. You can push up a ramp against an early bunker, potentially, and that lets you know for sure if your opponent is going for any 1-1-1 type play. So we'll see if he's going to do that. He does have his Zealot headed over here right now. He may even be able to slow down this command center, but he's headed right up into the main here.
Yeah, going to go right for a supply depot. Probably not his best decision to do that. Probably was just on move command. Once this Marauder pops out, he will be able to deal with it, but I think the SCV is going to have to micro it a little bit to same damage. But meanwhile, in the main, the Reaper is actually going to work along with an SCV, going to take a kill there. Zealot is now being kited by this Marauder who's trying to run for his dear life. Going to wait for his buddy to pop out, hopefully do some damage, maybe use an SCV to tank, which he really should do. Zealots actually do fairly well against Marauders one-on-one because they only do 10 damage. Going for the Mule, such a smart decision, and EGiNcontroL does get it. That's a big pick this early on into the game. Second Marauder does pop out. Still no slow on the Marauders. Actually went for Stim. I think that's a really interesting pick, and he will get that Zealot. And how many workers did that Reaper kill? Got 3 workers.
He killed 2. He did kill 2 workers, and then
he picked one right in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, he was good. I'd say that Sonic, at least he got some information there. He didn't see anything early tech going down or early gateway. So, but we do have a 4-gate coming out of EGiNcontroL, and looks like he may go for a relatively early 4-gate push here. Did get his natural up and running though. He's got that chrono going down on his economy for the time being, but we may see a small attack here come out in just a few. Notice that he does have that forward pylon as well. Yeah,
that's actually a really smart play out of EGiNcontroL. Considering the fact what he solves his opponent, Reaper expands are really vulnerable early on just because that Reaper takes so long to build and it does take 50 gas. It eats up a lot of resources. It even delays. You even saw that Sonic's orbital command as natural is delayed for a little bit of time. 4 Marauders out will make it him a little bit more beefier against any Stalker pressure. They do counter them relatively well. Excuse me, I should say exceptionally well. This is a really early 4-gate pressure. It's almost like he went for a 4-gate rush, but stuck in the Nexus early on and is now putting the pressure. It's only coming about maybe 30 to 30 seconds later than it normally would. And Sonic, 4 Marauders total, and a reactor, 2 reactors building behind this. This is going to be really, really tough to hold on. He's going to need to pull SCVs. Bunker might go down right away. Does it? It does go down. Stalker's going to go ahead and push forward. Stim has completed those, so with the supports of the SCVs to soak a little bit of damage, I think Sonic might be able to win this, but no, he's just going to go ahead and GG right there. And in control with the very, very smart 4-gate pressure after expanding, catching Sonic off guard.
That was brutal. I mean, in control, picked that timing attack very, very well, and Sonic was completely unprepared for that. So we can see our newcomer with a little bit of nerves kind of getting into play there. He's really got to pay attention, I think, a little bit better to his scouting, see what's going on a little bit better, and game number 3 will be headed our way in just a few moments.